Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining our Discover UNE virtual series focused on living on campus tonight. We are really excited to have you join us, and we are going to get started with our presentation. But first, we're going to start with introductions. My name is Donald Vivian. I am a Senior Assistant Director here in our Office of Undergraduate Admissions. I work with students from Boston and the North Shore of Massachusetts, so if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. But we're also joined by two of our student ambassadors as well. And if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, that'd be great.
Hi guys, I'm Hope. I'm a med bio student. Currently I'm a junior and I'm also a pre-dental student. And then I also have a minor in health medicine and society.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us, Hope. And Johanna, could you mind introducing yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Johanna. I am a third year as well as Hope here at UNE. My major is environmental science and I have a double minor in GIS and climate change studies.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we'll be hearing more from Hope and Johanna in a few minutes as well as we get to our Q&A. But tonight, we're going to start with a short housing video that goes into some more depth around, not only the housing options that we have here for residence halls, but also a little bit in depth into the application process and living on campus in general. Then we're going to jump into our Q&A. And then after the Q&A, we will finish with some final reminders, things that are coming up over the next couple of weeks, some different deadlines, some ways to connect with us. So there's a lot to happen in this presentation. But first, we want to start with our housing video and really give you an opportunity to learn more about housing and living on campus here at the University of New England.
The University of New England's Biddeford campus is an amazing place to live and learn. Why? With our campus situated at the start of Hills Beach Road, you'll live in a culturally rich, environmentally beautiful, and safe community in a seaside town where others come to vacation. There's no better way to build your community, pursue your passions, and have a ton of fun along the way. So welcome, let's dig in. At UNE, most incoming students live on campus for their first 3 years. That's because living on campus provides a comfortable and convenient home base for your undergraduate student experience and provides the resources that will help you thrive academically and socially. UNE's Biddeford campus hits the just right sweet spot between a cozy, supportive, home away from home and a buzzing, active community where there's always something for you to do. Meet friends at the Rippich Commons for a bite, work out at one of our fitness centers, enjoy card night in your dorm, cheer on a Nor'easter team, or hang out at Freddie Beach. This is a place where you can do you. Beyond the 3-year residency requirement, seniors may choose to stay on campus for their 4th year, or live off campus in one of our nearby coastal communities. This could be a short walk or bike ride down Hills Beach Road, or along the 7 miles of sand in Old Orchard Beach. Renting a house on the beach with a group of your friends your senior year. Not bad, right? There are a few exceptions to the residency requirement. If you're a dental hygiene, nursing, or pre-pharmacy major, you'll spend 2 years on the Biddeford campus and then transition to the Portland campus for the health sciences for your final 2 years. Beyond that, if you're interested in checking your eligibility for an exception to the residency requirement, reach out to our Office of Housing and Residential and Commuter Life. Let's talk about residence hall options that are specifically for first-year students. First up is the Quad. The Quad is right at the center of campus and is made up of 4 buildings: Assisi, Avila, Siena, and Padua halls. Quad buildings are traditional-style residence halls with double and triple rooms, with common spaces, laundry, and a kitchen, as well as restrooms located on each floor. Our other first-year hall is Featherman Hall. Located next to the Quad in the Rippich Commons, Featherman rooms are typically triples, and common amenities in the building include a kitchen, study rooms, and lounge spaces. Each first-year hall also has a laundry room with free use for residents. We even have an app to tell you when your laundry's done. Rooms are furnished with beds, chairs, desks, dressers, closets, and fixed lighting. With loftable beds, rearrangeable furniture, and tons of room for decoration, you and your roommates can customize your room and make it your own. Remember that your room is your bedroom, but the entire campus is your new home. Once you've applied and been admitted to UNE, your next step is to submit your enrollment deposit. This includes a $300 tuition deposit and a $200 campus housing deposit. Your enrollment deposit signals to us that you're committed to joining our incoming class. Now that's cause for celebration. In addition to our traditional first-year housing options, we also offer first-year living learning communities. themed learning communities, as well as co-housing for students in the UNE Honors College. These communities bring students with similar interests, passions, and academic pursuits together in a shared residential environment. When you join one of these communities, you'll get all the benefits of on-campus living, plus access to additional advantages such as community programs and workshops, social outings, career and networking events, leadership experiences, linked courses, early move-in, and more. The living learning communities are open to students in specific majors. Current communities include the health professions community, the marine learning community, and the medical biology community. Themed learning communities are open to any major and are about finding shared community and interests. The Lavender community is for students who identify as LGBTQIA+, or as allies of the community. This is a space to explore identity, get connected to campus and local resources, and for LGBTQIA+ identified individuals to feel safe and thrive. You can apply to join one of these communities via a supplemental application to the General Housing application. These communities are part of a wider program, the UNE Nor'easter First Year Experience, which assists first-time college students with their transition from high school to the university. From supportive programming such as course registration workshops and roommate matching socials, to peer mentors and more, First Year Experience programs exist to help you make the most out of your first year. Another important resource will be your residential advisor, or RA. RAs are current students who live on your floor, and they are there to help you meet your floor mates, make new friends, and settle into your new home.
Hey, I'm Darnie. I'm a resident advisor. This is my 3rd year as an RA. As RAs, we're here to be a friend and a resource, so don't be afraid to talk to us. We also help you get connected to campus resources like the Student Academic Success Center, which is for peer tutoring, the Student Access Center for accommodation needs, the Health Center, counseling services, or just to get around campus. There's an RA at every floor, and you'll have an RA every semester you live on campus. Alongside RAs, you'll have an area coordinator, which is a professional staff member who oversees different parts of campus. And if you're a commuter, you'll have a commuter mentor who is there to support you in your first year. Your first year in college is an exciting new experience that can be overwhelming, so don't forget that your RA is there for you when you need support, guidance, or advice.
As an RA, Darnie is also an expert on what to pack for your first semester at UNE. Here are some tips to consider for next year when you start thinking about move-in.
Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Darnie, and we're seniors at UNE.
Here's what we wish we brought for our first semester at UNE. First, let's talk about electronics. You're going to need a laptop for all of your classes.
And depending how you take notes, you may want a tablet. For your bed, you'll need pillows, sheets,
And maybe a mattress topper and a comfy blankie.
and for your shower essentials, you'll need a shower caddy.
You'll also need shower shoes and maybe a robe.
You'll need a laundry basket,
And detergent or pods. Be sure to bring a trash can and trash bags.
but UNE provides you with a recycling bin. You're gonna want a lamp for your desk.
And make sure to talk to your roommates about bringing the bigger stuff. A fan, a TV, a mirror, a microwave, and a fridge.
We also have a microwave with fridge rental program here,
To keep your room clean, bring your cleaning supplies.
like your Swiffer and a vacuum. You might want to bring some snacks and some microwavable plates.
And to bring it to have water in your room. You may want to bring some over-the-counter medicine in case you get a headache or a cold.
And we also have it available on campus. You should bring what you need for your hobbies.
And you may want headphones and a speaker,
You'll want to talk to your roommates about room decor.
like plants, art, and lights.
And for the beginning of the semester, you're gonna need some summer clothes, like shorts and a bathing suit for our beach.
And at the end of the semester, you'll need a jacket and some boots to keep warm.
And most importantly, bring a smile.
And get excited for your first semester at UNE.
With more than 100 clubs and organizations, including intramural sports, creative arts, politics, and social activism, plus endless recreational opportunities in southern Maine, you'll find a level of engagement that matches your speed. And if you have an idea for a new activity, we'll help you get something started. Events on campus enrich your journey and build your community at UNE. Harvest Fest, winter lighting, and the 50-plus year tradition of faculty and staff served Thanksgiving dinner are some of the annual events you can look forward to in your fall semester. During the spring semester, participate in UNE Mountain Takeover for skiing and snowboarding, attend the spring formal dance, and cap off the year with the spring concert. Whether you're a student athlete or an active member of our Nor'easter fan section, getting involved with athletics is one of the best ways to tap into the UNE spirit. Our Biddeford campus is home to 19 varsity sports teams and more than 20 club teams, where you can show up to the big game and cheer on your fellow Nor'easters. We also offer intramural sport leagues throughout each semester. Grab some friends, or go in as a free agent and join an intramural team where you are welcome to play regardless of your age, ability, gender, or skill level. Everyone in the UNE community works hard to cultivate a welcoming and inclusive campus environment. The Office of Intercultural Student Engagement offers programs, events, services, spaces, and other resources that help raise sensitivity and appreciation to the diversity of our community. Our global education program is another way that you can cultivate the spirit of intercultural exploration. We offer semester-long programs in Tangier, Morocco, and Seville, Spain, as well as many short-term travel courses that can take you anywhere from the Galapagos Islands to the mountains of Iceland. So there you have it. With all our clubs, easy access to the beach, the mountains, and all that Maine and New England has to offer, there are endless ways to both have fun and get involved. We're a community that offers all of the resources and facilities of a large university while still maintaining a close-knit, small college campus vibe. We cannot wait to welcome you to campus.
All right, well, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that short video and it gave you a better insight into what's available here at UNE for students to get involved in, to live on campus, as well as just learn more about our community. And now, again, we want to transition to the Q&A portion of our presentation. To start out, really, I want to hear from our students first and hear about their experiences of living on campus. So, Johanna, would you mind just talking about your first year living experience, where you lived on campus, and just talk a little bit about what that experience was really like for you?
Absolutely. So my first year, I lived in Featherman Residence Hall. I absolutely loved it. I lived with two of my best friends, and I did not know them before I came. So through the process of choosing a roommate, they became my best friends. I'm from northern Minnesota, so I really came here not knowing anybody. I'm the only person that left my home state for my high school class, so I really was starting fresh when I came here to University of New England. But first year, there are so many different ways to meet new people. They know that you're coming here not knowing a lot of familiar faces. So there's so many different activities during orientation week, during first year, everything. So it's a really great experience. My first year, I loved it.
Yeah, amazing. And Hope, maybe you could touch on a little bit more around that first week when you get to campus, what it's like, not only the events that they're putting on, but also how some of your, again, like, your RAs, your ACs are going to help you, really transition to campus.
Yeah, so when you get to campus, your RAs and your ACs are already here, ready for you. They're really excited to meet you. I remember when I was first moving in, my RA was already there, welcoming me, introducing herself to not only me, but my parents too, like letting them know I'm in good hands. And they're already ready to start building a community for you and the rest of your floor mates that you'll eventually get to meet. And those people that you meet during your first year, you will know the rest of your time at UNE. And I see them all over the place on campus, and I hang out with them a lot. I grab lunch and say, hey, how's it going? From these people that I met just during orientation week and during my first year of living in a residence hall.
Yeah, fantastic. And thinking about your second year on campus, Hope, as well, could you talk about where you decided to live, why you decided to live in that residence hall, and just really talk about, that process of living, again, in a different residence hall that you lived in that first year?
Yeah. So during my sophomore year, my second year, I lived in Secaucus Residence Hall, which is on the other side of campus, over near the Harold Alfond Forum and the athletics building. So the reason why I chose to live over there is because a lot of my friends chose to live over there. And then I always remember they had heated floors, so I'd wake up and I'd walk around, and my feet would all be so warm from that building. But it was also really nice to be close to the Harold Alfond Forum for the athletics events. So it was easy to be able to just go over to like the ice hockey game and not have to walk back because you're right next to it.
Very cool. Yeah. I think, walking over to the forum, going under the, into the tunnel and seeing Secaucus right there is definitely a cool location to live on campus. I wanted to just quickly talk about the application process. And I know we mentioned it in the short video, But as a reminder, that application process and applying for housing is not going to come after you've applied to UNE and have gotten accepted and then choose to enroll. So this is something that's going to be happening really over the summer after, again, that enrollment deadline. So not something you need to worry about right at this moment and think about applying to housing, but it's important to understand what options you have for housing on campus. And at UNE, that is pretty unique because while we do have our main undergraduate campus here in Biddeford, we also have a international campus in Tangier, Morocco as well. And Johanna, I know you had an opportunity to study there at the second semester of your second year. Could you talk about your experience in Morocco, not only from deciding that you wanted to study abroad there, but also what it was like to live on that campus in Tangier and the opportunities you had for some hands-on experiences?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to study abroad in Morocco last semester, so spring of 2024. And it was just such a great experience. I loved it there. I got to live with one of my best friends. They are 2-person rooms, so we have all of our own residence halls in Tangier, Morocco. It is attached to a lounge area, a cafeteria where they get all the food fresh from the markets, from local people that grow all their food. Just the experiences there were so amazing. It's completely, you just kind of go right in. You just kind of jump right in. It's so cool. On the weekends, I traveled a lot. I wasn't completely sure that I wanted to go to Morocco, but then when I talked to my advisor, I learned that I could stay on track with my major. There are specific classrooms and labs on campus in Tangier, so you're able to stay on track with your major, which is such a great opportunity. I was also able to get volunteer hours when I was there, and I volunteered at a spot that was for women's health, and it worked with economic health for the women in the city. They would come and work at a restaurant, so I got to come in, speak the minimal Arabic that I was learning with them, and just work and wash dishes with them. All around, Morocco was such an amazing experience. I would absolutely highly recommend.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I know I'm trying to get to Tangier and see campus. I would love to go to Tangier. I think those experiences that you talk about are open for all of our students, no matter their major or minor. Again, Tangier is unique because the University of New England owns that campus. And so these are UNE faculty members. These are UNE classes. So again, no matter what you're studying, whether that's in our health sciences, marine science, whether that's in our College of Business, in our social sciences, the humanities, you have opportunities for a global experience. And that term campus really is, because you could be, again, studying abroad at a different university, but that is your campus where you get to live and learn and really have opportunities to grow. So yes, our undergraduate campus here is in Biddeford, but that can really expand elsewhere around the world depending on where you're studying, which again is open for all of our students. Now, we've gotten a question in that if you've applied early action and are accepted, is housing reserved for you, or is it with regular admissions? There is no real reservation when it comes to housing. So again, if you apply early action and are accepted, when that housing application opens up, you can go right in and start your application and apply. Again, we have a 3-year living requirement on campus, which means students are guaranteed housing on campus for those 3 years, which again is allowing students to really make that decision about whether or not they would choose to enroll at UNE up until that May 1st enrollment deadline. So while we don't have preference for students applying early action and again, applying for housing early, by applying for early action being accepted, you can apply for housing a little bit earlier when that housing application opens up. So again, if you want, that's always going to be an option for you, but you can always, again, make that decision a little bit later on down the road and know that you're not going to be disadvantaged in the housing process. Now, another question that we've been getting in is really focused on, again, sort of expanding campus. What does it really look like to be involved? And Hope, could you talk about some of your involvement on campus and maybe when that involvement really started?
Yeah, so I would say that my involvement actually started like during my first year. I'm actually a first generational college student, so I really had no idea what college was going to look like in general. The biggest thing that I wanted to do was make use of my time here and like really get involved with things and make college worth it, right? So I was immediately getting involved with all these sorts of clubs. We actually have about 117 clubs and organizations on campus. So there's so many different things for people to do, whether that's based on your major or just random interests or sports clubs. But for me, I am a president of a community service club on campus. I'm also involved in an invisibility and health club, which one of my best friends just started that lives with me. And then we've also got so many other organizations on campus, jobs. Like if you're on a sports team, that's also like pretty heavily involved. But for me personally, I've just found myself getting involved in so many things where it's like, oh my goodness, like there's a lot of stuff to choose from. And it's hard to pick which ones you want at this point because there's so much.
Yeah. And I think it's great to have those options, and it's great to, again, try something once. And if it's not the fit for you, that's okay. And I think UNE students in general are really a curious group who want to go out and try a lot of different things and be involved and be engaged on campus. Johanna, could you talk a little bit about opportunities for research on campus and really how, again, not only there's living and learning communities on campus like the Blue community for students in marine and environmental programs, but how can your academic side of your life here at UNE really help you find community, but also, again, how can research help you find that community as well?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my biggest draws when I came to UNE and when I was kind of in your guys' shoes, choosing which university I want to go to and kind of weighing my options, my biggest draw was that UNE has all of these opportunities, especially in environmental and different medical fields, all kinds of things. Kind of wherever you name it, there's opportunities for research. So when I came here, I took great advantage of that. I got involved in research as soon as my first semester, my first year. I worked on a salamander project, and we were counting the different salamanders, and we were helping them travel during their migration periods for reproduction. But there's just opportunities everywhere. I have been part of research pretty much every semester that I'm here. Currently, I'm working on a project with our geographic informational systems, and I'm currently flying drones over all the dunes in southern Maine, and then I'm mapping them out, and I'm seeing how the dunes are affected from climate change. So it's firsthand information that we're dealing with. It's tons of research. The professors want you to help with it. They don't see you just as a student helper. They see you as part of the research just like them. So amazing opportunities, so many out there. It was a
Very cool. Are you getting to use the new large drone that they got this summer?
I am. Yeah, it is massive. It is 55 pounds. So it is huge. It's really cool.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, wow. Now we do have a question really, again, around the application and, again, deadlines coming up. And we do have some deadlines coming up that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But as a reminder, when it comes to applying to UNE, we only have really a couple requirements. One, that you submit your application. So that is the UNE application, Common App, or Coalition application, and then your official high school transcript. So those are the only two required materials that we need for us to consider you for the application cycle. So again, if you have any questions, again, we'll leave some contact information at the end of this session as well. Now, this is a great question, maybe for both of you, Hope and Johanna. Now, for students, what does a typical weekend look like? Besides, clubs and orgs, what are students doing? Are they going off campus to, spend an evening in Biddeford or Portland? Again, there's no one typical weekend for every student. But Hope, maybe you could talk about, what events are typically going on the weekends.
Yeah. So, recently I've been getting a lot of questions on tour about the quote unquote suitcase schools. And I would definitely say that UNE is not one of them. I'm actually a local. I'm from Buxton, Maine, if there's any Mainers in here. And that's only about 40 minutes away from here. So I could definitely have the option to go home every weekend if I wanted to. But I actually don't. I don't go home at all because I'm so busy on campus. So a lot of the students here are very academically driven, as you will see. So maybe a weekend looks like you do something fun on Friday. Maybe you go to an ice hockey game on Friday, which is a big social event. Saturday, you're doing some homework during the morning, getting catched up. And then Saturday, there's another program that maybe activities programming board puts on, or you're going out to Portland into all the restaurants with your friends and having a good meal there. And then Sunday morning, you're waking up. Maybe you're going to Elements in Biddeford to get a nice coffee and a little study date with them. And then it's Sunday night again, and you're back to school.
Yeah. And I think there's events that happen every day, every weekend. And really for students on campus, you get to opt in or opt out of whatever you'd like to do. And, again, we're only 8 minutes from downtown Biddeford, where there is a bus that runs every hour. So it is really accessible to get to and from campus. If you want to go into Biddeford, if you want to get to Portland, there's a lot of different opportunities to get to and from Portland as well. Biddeford, though, is a really fun and vibrant city. There's a lot of great food options for students. So we're really excited for Biddeford to continue to grow and continue to change over the next couple of years as well. But Johanna, maybe you could talk about what a weekend might look like for you as well.
Absolutely. So like Hope was kind of talking about suitcase schools, I get a lot of questions about like, oh my gosh, you're from so far away in Minnesota. How do you manage like not going home all the time? There's always an event going on here at UNE. Always. There's posters everywhere on events that our planning boards put on, or academic things that happen. I find myself a lot of times on weekends meeting with my friends, kind of in our common area, in our commons building, meeting with them over a coffee and everybody studying together. Or then I'll go for a walk on the beach with some friends just to take a break from that, or to coffee, all kinds of things, or a football game. Wherever you look, there's going to be an activity. So you really won't find yourself having downtime if you don't want there to be.
Yeah. And I think, walking on the beach is definitely a big one. Again, within a 10-mile radius, there's 24 sandy beaches. So some of the nicest beaches in Maine are really starting at our campus and heading south. We could go out into the Maine wilderness and you can camp, you can hike. Acadia National Park is up the coastline. So you're right. There's a lot of opportunities to get out and into the communities and just enjoy what campus has to offer here at UNE as well. We've got about 5 minutes left of the Q&A. So if you have any questions, like I said, please don't hesitate to utilize that Q&A feature. We are going to start wrapping up relatively soon, but we've got some other questions to answer before we do wrap up. And this one is really for the admission staff, so me. But as you think about, applying to UNE and thinking about the essays and things like that, the question really is there one thing that we're looking for in the essays? And the answer is no. I think the essays, as you think about them, here at UNE, we only require the one application essay. So it's really giving you an opportunity to tell your story and for you to introduce yourself to the admissions staff here at UNE. With that one application essay, there's, I think, 7 different prompts that you can choose from, including a choose your own. And my biggest advice for students when it comes to the essays is to write the essay that you want to write, not the one you think your parents want you to write or the one you think your counselors want you to write. Like I said, this is your chance to tell your story. This is our first chance as admissions counselors to hear your voice in this entire application process. So don't feel like you need to write these profound essays explaining everything that's happened in your entire life. Write what's authentic to who you are. Write the stories that you feel best reflect who you are and what you think really tells the best story of you. Because when we read those are the ones that we remember afterwards. Those are the ones that, again, are going to have that impact on us because we can really get to know you and get a better sense of who you are. So make sure you're giving yourself enough time to write a first draft, a second draft, have someone else at the high school review that information, and really make sure that, again, you're giving yourself enough time to put a lot of effort into these essays, because this is the number one area that we really get to see who you are. Now, as we wrap up, I have really one final question for the students. As you think back to your time applying to schools, thinking back to, building that college list, submitting those applications, and then waiting for those decisions, do you have any advice for students as they work through this process of submitting those applications for early decision, early action, and then again, what comes next in this process? And Johanna, do you have any advice for the students?
Yeah, absolutely. This kind of touches on what Donald just said. Don't think about what your parents want. Don't think about what your advisor wants or your guidance counselor. Where are you going to find the best fit for where you're going to live for the next 4 years? When I chose a school, I was really indecisive. I applied to 12 schools. I had a whole spreadsheet. I had all these things set out, and I was determined to find the perfect school. Again, it was only until I visited UNE that I kind of felt right about somewhere. And that was just with like the student body size, the academics, just the location, all of that. UNE just felt like the best fit for me. But I'd say my biggest piece of advice is just find what feels like the best fit for you, where you can confidently say that it's going to be a home for you.
Yeah, great advice. And Hope, any advice for the students?
I remember when I was in your shoes, I was just so stressed out because everybody's asking, like, oh, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Have you written your essay yet? Have you written your essay yet? It can be really stressful. And I think it's important to take a break for yourself and like take some deep breaths and know that it's all going to be okay. Like, you are going to go to a school and you're going to do great, and everything's going to work out for you, and it's all happening for a reason. So just like take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. And just know that everything is going to work out.
Again, great advice. Thank you to Hope and Johanna for being here tonight. Again, we really appreciate your time and your perspective about UNE. Now, as we wrap up, if you have any questions about housing, any questions about living on campus, here is the contact information for our Office of Housing and Residential and / Commuter Life. Again, they'd be more than happy to chat with you around what options are available for students on campus and things like that. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you do have any questions moving forward. Now, as we come to, again, these application deadlines, we have our early action deadline coming up on Friday. Again, this is a non-binding deadline, so if you are accepted through early action, you are not required to attend the university. But we do highly recommend students interested in medical biology, prenatal medicine, as well as nursing, again, are applying early action to give yourself more time at the end of this process, just to visit campus and really make sure that this is going to be the best place for you. And as you can see, if you do apply by early action, all applicants will hear back no later than January 15th. Now, we do have a regular decision deadline of February 15th as well. So if you wanted to apply by regular decision, again, all your required materials will need to be submitted before February 15th. Now, when it comes to financial aid, you can see that 98% of our students receive a merit scholarship up to $27,000. Those merit scholarships are based off of your unweighted GPAs in high school. So again, if you have any questions around financial aid or any questions around additional aid, again, in addition to the merit scholarship, we're also going to supply students with additional aid through the free application for federal student aid or the FAFSA. Now, the big change with the FAFSA this year is that it does not open until December 2024. So again, as you think about applying for the free application for federal student aid, you can visit FAFSA.gov, which will bring you right to their website. You can build your account and start to understand more about what documents are going to be required, as well as start the process of preparing to file the FAFSA. Again, this is a delayed start for the FAFSA. Last year, we saw a delayed start as well. If we see significant delays, again, we have some tools in place that are ready to go to help really alleviate the stress around financial aid and financial aid process. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our Student Financial Services. Here is their contact information. They would be more than happy to sit down and have a chat with you regarding filling out the FAFSA, what required documents there will be, talking more around what aid looks like at the university. So again, if you have any questions, you can visit their website to sign up for one-on-one appointments. You can email them or call them. Again, like I said, they'd be more than happy to chat with you if you have any questions when it comes to financial aid. Now, we have a few different ways to continue to engage with us moving forward. We have one more virtual session on December 18th. Again, that is our last Discover UNE virtual session focused on going beyond the classroom. And we're really going to focus on extracurricular activities here at the university and opportunities, again, for you to get outside of the academic setting and really engage with the community here at UNE as well. So you can sign up for those Discover UNE sessions by scanning the QR code right there. But if you missed any of our sessions this fall, we also have them all posted on our YouTube page. So you can find all of those recordings on our admissions YouTube page. So please, if you want, you can go watch those and learn more information about the university. We also have a lot of other ways to come to campus and engage with us as well. We have campus tours every day, including select Saturdays. And we also have academic info sessions on campus as well. Now, these sessions are for specific academic programs. So they're not offered for every academic program on our campus, but are offered for some. And if you are interested in signing up and learning more about a specific program on campus, you can sign up and scan the QR code there and learn more about what programs may be offering academic info sessions moving forward. Now, if you have any questions, you can find all of our counselor information at une.edu/counselors. We have all of our territory counselors listed there. Like I said, I work with students from Boston and the North Shore of Massachusetts. So if you have any questions, you can reach out directly to me. But each of our counselors oversees a specific territory. So if you have any questions, please find your territory counselor and reach out directly to them. They'd be more than happy to chat and answer any questions you may have moving forward. And finally, if you want to just get in contact with us, you can always reach out to our general phone number or email. And I always recommend checking out our social media pages as well. It's a great way to get a quick insight to that student experience here. Thinking about, as we mentioned, talking about events on campus, those social media pages will give you a quick insight to what events are happening throughout the week, what's happening on the weekends. Again, gives you that insight to a student experience here at UNE as well. Now, that really wraps up our program tonight. Again, I want to thank Hope and Johanna for joining us this evening. Again, we really appreciate your time and your perspective. And again, we really, love to hear about your experiences here at UNE. So thank you so much for your time this evening. I want to thank everyone else for joining us this evening. We really appreciate your time and the opportunity for us to share some more information about UNE. If you have any questions moving forward, please don't hesitate to reach out. But thank you so much for joining us, and I'll leave everyone with a go Nor'easters. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.